Welcome back. As you've seen from the title, we finna really lock in with it. We're finna get into the video. Like we're really finna just talk about greatness. You feel me? And like what will make you great? Or how do you become great? It's gonna be the starter question because a lot of times people really don't understand that without perseverance, there is no greatness. Or in a sense, without suffering and perseverance, there will be no greatness. Because suffering and perseverance, they're
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was going to say son of a.
they're two separate things on the same coin. They're two separate sides on the same coin. Because without suffering, without suffering brings no perseverance, and without perseverance, it doesn't give you any greatness. Because if you don't have anything to suffer, you're not really persevering through anything. Without persevering through anything, you get no greatness. So you need the two in order to become great. But who are you when you're in your suffering? And a lot of times people, they'll say, oh, if I'm ever in this type of situation, I'll do this, that, and the third. A, B, C, X, Y, Z. But when they get in that situation, they do the whole 360. They 360 the deal. And it's like, yo, I thought you said you gonna handle it like this, that, and the third. Whole time. They capping. And it's not their fault. Because a lot of times we all do this. We all, as human beings, we all say, well, okay, let me paint you a picture. Let's say it's your first time swimming and you never been swimming before. And you talking about like, oh yeah, I'm finna go crazy. You feel me? I'm finna be the best swimmer out there. Whole time you get in that pool, you about near died 10 times. You feel me? And you're like, yo, I didn't expect it to be like this because you never experienced it. And with that analogy, a lot of times it goes like that when it comes to certain trials and tribulations that you endure. A lot of times we'll think, oh, I'll handle this with grace. In actuality, you don't, because you can't handle something with grace that you never experienced. And even if you do experience it, you're even if you do handle it with grace, it's only to a certain extent because it's still new. You still haven't really experienced this, gotten used to this. But that's just, starter intro. You feel me? I got some notes. You feel me? I got some notes I want to tell you. So I was on the web. Greg Plight, I believe is his name. I hope I'm not butchering that, but I think I probably am. Greg Plight, he says in one of his quotes, it's not the genetic guy who wins or the guy with the most potential who wins. It's the person with the most perseverance who wins. And that's true, because without perseverance, how do you think you're going to manage to get back up every day? And it doesn't even have to be big things. It's small things. Sometimes, you don't want to work that 9 to 5. That makes you just feel tired. That makes you feel like you're not getting no money for real. But you do that every day. You get up every day, go to work, get in your bag, you come home, and you repeat that cycle on a daily basis. That takes bravado. A lot of people, they wouldn't really settle for that if they had other options, whether they be good or bad. It takes bravado. It takes guts. And I'm not saying stay a 9 to 5 worker. That's not what I'm saying. If you have a choice to do better in a right way, do better. Achieve that. Go for that. Put your best foot forward for that. Invest in yourself, because you're your biggest and best investor. You feel me? Because you know what's going to be best for you, because it's your body. Look out for you. You feel me? Show yourself love. That's just a side gem. But at the same time, you have to I can't talk. You will have to thug out some certain things. Or some certain situations. Even if you don't want to. because at the end of the day, you're doing it for your future. You're doing it for the future you, and the future you will be eternally grateful that you decided not to give up and flake out on you for a short-term gratification that will really not temporary, that will really not satisfy you in the longevity of your life. It's all just a distraction. Everything that's just self-gratification in a short-term phase will not help you at all in the bigger picture or your bigger goal. Not your bigger goal, or your goals in the future. Okay, second point. I got a Brad Pitt quote. I really liked it. So it says, let me slow down or I'm getting too excited. You feel me? Y'all got me a little too hype. Y'all gotta chill. You feel me? But it says you must lose everything in order to gain anything, and that's true in a sense, because sometimes, like, especially if you're trying to start that new business, you know, the worldwide phrase, you gotta lose money to make money. You feel me? In a sense, you have to lose something to gain anything, which makes sense. But while you're going through that process, while you're in that process, you cannot lose hope that it will turn topside. You'll become better. You'll get some type of profit. You know, because a lot of times when you start something and you don't see progress or results, you quit instantly because you think it's a wasted endeavor. But in actuality, it's not. It's just a process. It takes time for you to build wealth or for you to have results. That takes a minute. You feel me? Just because it might take long for you don't mean it'll be long in the big picture or the grand scheme. Because what happens if it takes you like 6 months and it took everybody else 3.5 years? But it only took you 6 months. But you're tripping over that first month because you're not seeing any profit or any results, or you're not seeing any type of, results that makes you feel like you're that. It's okay. It takes time. It's not gonna happen overnight. And I know you heard me say this in the last video, but even if it does happen overnight, as quickly as it came, it's going to be as quickly as it leaves, because anything that comes with no type of long suffering or perseverance, or anything that if you didn't work hard for it, it's not going to stay when you want it to. It's going to leave as fast as it comes. It's not going to stay on your time limit. You feel me? If you build something up brick by brick, you know for sure it's going to stay for a while because you built that foundation brick by brick, day by day, and you know how it's going to handle up under any or every types of conditions. But if it's something that got built by somebody else extremely fast, you don't know that foundation is safe, and you can't trust or say this because you don't know you didn't build the foundation. Next point though, when it comes to your identity, you must not forget who you are. And I'm gonna say this from a biblical standpoint because I'm a Christian. I love God. You feel me? I'm gonna follow God to the day I die. So look, Jeremiah, he was a youth, and God had a big call on his life, but he doubted his promises because people in that day and age, they didn't really believe like the youth could really be utilized through God. So he was doubtful in his own capabilities. God said, Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, God said, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you, and I ordained you a prophet to the nations." This is really hitting home to Jeremiah because he's already talking down to himself, thinking that he can't be anything or he can't really do the things that God called him to do. He really being discouraged. And God is telling him personally to himself, hey, I know who you are even if you don't see it. I see the potential in you even if you don't know it or don't believe it. I know who you can be. I know what you can be. Trust in me because I would never lie. I'm not like man. My words will not become void. If he decrees and declares something on this earth, it's going to happen. It might not happen in the time that you want it to happen. It might not happen that day. It might not happen that week. It might not happen that month. It might not happen in some years. But I guarantee you, when the time is perfect and when the time is right, it's going to happen. And you're going to take joy in it because God never lies. You feel me? He knows it's going to happen. So don't beat yourself up if you feel as if you're meant for more and you haven't done it yet. It's just simply not your time to do it. It's just not your time to do it yet. God still has you failed because he still has things he needs to teach you, shows you these things. He still has things he wants you to work on. He He just needs you to like continue to go through this training arc. He's building you up brick by brick on him because he's the strongest foundation you need in this life, in this time.